Little Stellar Fox, aka Jamie Ann, is, for whatever reason, a polarizing figure in FPV. She's a Rotor Riot pilot, and she also attracts a lot of hate and angst in the various communities on Facebook. I wasn't really sure that I wanted to go out with this one first, but there's a point at which you just might as well rip the Band-Aid off. So Jamie and I have a long conversation in this one about haters on Facebook, haters in general, what the community does and does not bring to the table very well. I hope that you enjoy it. I hope it doesn't result in a complete and total storm, but we'll see. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.
Let's dive into that. So I kind of thought myself immune to it. I've always kept a pretty level head about, somebody could be in a really bad space. They could make a nasty comment. They could say something, whatever about me. And I've always taken it with a lot of equanimity. And then over the past few weeks, I found myself stepping into just crap loads of drama. Just kind of basically shitstorms is what I call them. And I didn't want to be there. It wasn't what I'm looking for with this thing. And I realized that even though one comment, like you're an asshole or you're a jerk or something like that, doesn't really do much to me. When they start building up and when you hear it over and over again, or when you get like a string of negative comments, it starts taking a toll. Have you, I guess the question I have for you is, have you been put on blast like that? And what was your experience with it?
I don't know if I've been like put on blast. I don't know if that's the right phrase. I've definitely dealt with my share of negative comments, like probably way more than my share of negative comments, to keep it real. And it sucks. Yeah. For the 50 amazing comments, you get that one super negative one, and that's the one that you carry on your shoulders for the rest of the day.
Right.
Like, that's the one that eats away at the back of your head. And even if everybody else is saying that you're the most amazing anything in the whole world, that one person that's like, you're terrible and I hate you and you suck, that's the one person that you're going to be sitting there thinking about. For me particularly, it like I mentioned to you in private, I tend to attract the crazy. So I get a lot of interesting feedback. And it's hard. It's really hard. If it's just somebody sitting there saying like some random mean comment like you suck or boo or whatever, anything like that, little kid child stuff, that's whatever. Oh no, throw those sticks and stones. I don't really care. But it's really when people like dig in and attack who you are when they don't know you. Those are the comments that really, really hurt. Or when it's people that you do know personally or thought you knew personally who attack you on a very personal level. Those comments are the ones, I had guys from, I still get comments from guys from my home group that are some of the meanest comments I've ever received. People that think they know me that obviously don't, and I don't even want to say that they get creative because that makes it almost sound like it's a good thing. But they get really, really creative with their comments, and it's super hurtful. Like, people with thinner skin wouldn't handle it very well and would probably not be doing this. And if we're being totally honest, like there was definitely more than one point in time in the last year where I was just ready to say, all right, screw this, you guys, like screw FPV land, screw all that. I don't want anything to do with it anymore. And I almost quit like twice in the last 8 months because of terrible, evil, hateful people on the internet. And then I go and hang out with people in real life, and I go to events and I go to functions and like anything to do with FPV in real life. And I'm just like, God, I love this community and I love all these people and I love how these people interact with each other. Then the second you get on the internet, it's one of those things that you're just like, nope, I don't want to do this anymore. I hate this. So
it's interesting that the one thing I found, there was one time period, I don't remember what caused it. Somebody jumped into my DMs on Messenger, and they were really coming after me about something I said, something I don't remember. And so it was in the morning, and I walked out of the house. This is a shed that I work out of sometimes. And I sat down and I basically called the guy, and he wouldn't answer. And I called him again, and this was full video. Like, it wasn't just like a phone call. Like, I went to Messenger and I hit the video button, and I was like, all right, you want to say this? Say it to my face. And called him. He hung up. Called him. He hung up. Called him. And then he blocked me. I was like, you coward. Like, you want to sit there and hurl stones, but the minute that I ask you to talk face to face, you won't say anything. And it was just like, there was an education there for me, which was just that, like, okay, if you get aggressive, people will back off. But you obviously can't do that with everybody. Not that I want to, I've looked at the comments on your YouTube videos, and that community seems really supportive of you. I think people are enjoying seeing your progression and seeing how your flying is getting better and seeing, everything that you're doing. Where do you find, where are the negative comments coming from for the most part?
Oh, for sure, Facebook.
Okay.
Like, if you go into, or if you were to go on to the Rotor Riot YouTube page,
yeah,
there's some of it on there, but most of it, I would say, is in the groups in Facebook. It tends to stay relatively okay in the Rotor Riot group. It gets decently out of hand in the TBS group, and then the hate groups, I'm not even in those groups, and I get screenshots of some of the things, and there's even a whole Facebook page dedicated to I don't even know what you would call it, like a hate page for me. It's Little Steve-O Fox, because that's mine. Yeah, I didn't make it. The guys over in Rotor Riot community, probably, Seth and Vic and all them stupid assholes. There's actually a Facebook page that I've tried to get removed that I can't for impersonating me. It's called Little Steve-O Fox. It's got photoshopped pictures of me with Steve-O's face and, all sorts of interesting things on there like that. So, yeah, that's me. That's
wow.
That's what, I remember when I got sent the group, somebody sent me a screenshot of the group. Yeah. I was just like, oh man, this is what it's like being famous, right? When you make it in FPV, whatever that is, whenever you make it,
right?
You just have a lot of people that hate you and make fake Facebook pages based on you, kind of. That's what it is. That's what making it is. It's not like all the fun stuff that, we portray on the internet.
Right.
It's really just a bunch of hateful people. That's what I've learned.
Yeah, I actually dove back into the the community official, whatever group they want to call themselves, just because there's a part of me that's really curious about what drives that mentality, and I've had some conversations with Seth and with Vic, and it's interesting that one-on-one they're actually fine and personable. But in a group, things get pretty ugly pretty quick.
What's weird about just that particular situation, while I was at I.O., for example, I was out at I.O. having fun with everybody, having a good time, and then all of a sudden I'm getting bombarded by messages because there's been another post made by Seth about me, and it's got the picture that everybody's seen a million times from 2 years ago, and about how I'm not a good role model or some stupid bullshit. And of course, I get 900 million screenshots of that in comments. And I walked over and talked to Seth.
Mm-hmm.
And guess what? He wasn't an asshole to me, even though I'm sitting there, I'm literally just like, do you like know who you're talking to right now?
Right.
It's the same girl that you just made this terrible post about to like hurt me for no reason. Same person right here in front of you. It just doesn't make any sense. Like, it makes no sense. Like, where do you have the time to even get off on shit like that? Like, I don't get it. But
Seth has a standing invitation to come on the show. And I've let him know this. He's chosen not to at this point. But there's I tend to want the best for people. I tend to be the type of person I don't do jealous very often. And if, one of my friends or somebody that I don't even know gets something good or does something good or, is amazing, I'm like, good for you, man. That's awesome. So it's hard for me to understand the other side of that coin, which, like, is it driven by jealousy? Is it driven by, what's it driven by? I don't even understand.
I think it's boredom. Honestly, I really just think that it's boredom. Because, in my situation, there's nothing to be jealous of. There's not anything in the world to be jealous of. There's nothing to be, like, I'm not a mean person. I'm not hateful. I try to be helpful and kind and, like, a good human being. So I can't think of another reason besides boredom. It's got to just be that you're like, I really want to stir the pot today. Let's see how we can do that. And that's how that goes. Because, like you were saying, I try really hard to make people happy. I like when people are happy. I like when people are smiling and laughing. And that is like my ultimate goal in life, is to make the people that I interact with daily at least this much happier. Like, I want to positively impact the people around me. And I don't understand the people that are, like you said, on the opposite side of that coin. Like, how is that fun? Like, how is it fun to hurt people's feelings and be mean and be a jerk to, like, random people you don't even know? How is that enjoyable?
Yeah. I think the other thing that is, the fact that it's done in private most of the time, I think, is telling. Like, if you go to any of their personal pages, they're not putting that stuff on their personal page. It's not like they're, out in the general public saying that, oh, well, here's, this thing. But then once it's behind the closed walls of the group, it's okay now. So I'm sure that quite a few of them will watch this video, and I'm sure it'll be interesting to hear their comments below. I am truly interested in what drives them. I don't necessarily approve of it at all. I think most of it's tasteless, if not damaging. But
I mean, not even just to, like, specific people. It's damaging to the community as a whole.
Yes,
like,
it is.
Overall, anybody coming in who were to see any of the stupid bullshit, like, if I were to see the stuff that's on the internet today when I first started, no, I would have been like, yeah, that seems like a bunch of grown-up little boys fighting over toys. Like, I don't. No.
Yeah.
Like,
do you think that being a female in this hobby, do you think you probably draw more of the anger, angst, target, whatever you want to call it, from groups like this than someone else typically would?
I think myself, I do.
Okay.
Because of the type of female that I am. I don't think it specifically is because that I am a girl. I think because of the type of strong female that I am, that I don't, I am who I am. I'm very comfortable with myself. And that rattles a lot of men's cages. and I don't want to generalize because there are so many amazing men in this community that are respectful and awesome and loving and supportive. And, you know, I'm not saying, you know, don't coddle everybody, don't do any of that stupid bullshit. But at the same time, like, don't be super mean just because I'm not one of the boys.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I've been in male dominated hobbies and stuff like that my entire life.
Mm-hmm.
Always. I've always just been the guy with long hair.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and it's a weird thing because in this community, with other things that I do for work and other things that I've done, and the fact that over the last, you know, 10 years, I've become really comfortable with my body and really comfortable with myself and, you know, strong and confident in all of those things, like, I shouldn't have to apologize for who I am.
Mm-hmm.
And like I was saying, a lot of males have issues with that and they take it really hard. Or they don't think that it's fair. Like with my competition that I put on, you know, had the top prize been like a sewing machine, none of the guys would have cared at all.
Mm-hmm.
But because the top prize included a sponsorship, a lot of guys lost their minds. And now it wasn't fair because the girls were getting opportunities that the guys didn't have. And I don't know. Being a girl in this hobby is hard. Even the girls that don't put everything out there and aren't as loud and present as I am, even those girls have it hard. We all deal with interesting things that the guys don't deal with. I've spoken about this a couple of times in my own personal live streams and on Roto Riot, but it's one of those things that it's like, there are obstacles that we deal with that the men just don't, and you guys don't understand them because you don't deal with them. And
Right.
a lot of guys, the shock that I see on men's faces when they hear that these things actually happen
Right.
is amazing. Like, I can always tell the good guys because they're all, every time you say, oh yeah, I get dick pics like multiple times a day. The good guys, make that face. They all sit there and they go, oh my God, what? And then the bad guys are just like, that's not a big deal. What are you talking about?
I mean,
Have to see the reaction.
oh God, I just can't even
But
like.
you ask any female pilot.
I know that's.
It doesn't matter
I'm
because we
glad
all
you're.
communicate. You know,
Well,
you ask
and
any of the female pilots, they've all gotten them. They've all gotten weird, random things. I had some dude today ask me to move in with him and let him be my slave. Okay, that's a real life thing that happened just today. That's how people are.
Oh my God.
It's either I'm getting like hate mail from dudes who, I don't know, are angry that I'm doing whatever it is that I'm doing, or I'm getting really weird sexual messages. It's one or the other. There's no just like normal guys who are like, hey, let's be cool friends. This will be fun. It's always just one or the other. That's not true. There are a lot of really cool normal guys, but there are a lot of the extremes, one or the other.
There was one comment that I ran across, and I don't remember which video it was on, but some dude just randomly professes his love for you in the comments of one YouTube video that you've got. And I was just like, okay, like guy could be 13, quite possible. Also could be 40, and then it's weird. And I was like, man, there's probably so much that goes on. And you know, I've had conversations in private, not just with you, but with other women in the hobby, that, you know, this is a thing that happens.
It's real. This is real.
Like real. Legitimately, dudes are pulling down their pants and taking pictures and sending it to girls in the hobby. And I'm just like, in what world is this okay?
Like, you know, and the thing is like, it's not even just like random, like there's some like well-known pilots that do this. Like it's so crazy because we all communicate about it. You know, the girls, we all talk to each other. So it's one of those things that we're just saying there and we're like, oh, you too? It's like, yeah, me too. And all of us are just sitting there like, man, this is terrible. And all the guys are like, that doesn't happen. And we're just like, okay.
No,
You obviously haven't ever been a female.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
But,
at the end of the day, I guess the question I have for you is it worth it? Because you said, you've considered hanging it up twice this year. Do you still feel that way, or do you feel like you're going to see it through?
I am never going to quit flying. I will continue to fly probably until it's something that I just can't find parts, or, if it phases out or whatever the case may be. I'll be flying as long as I possibly can because I absolutely love it. I don't know if I'm going to stay in FPV land forever though. I enjoy going to events and I enjoy being around the people. I love the mass majority of this community. I really do. I love how helpful so many people are to just random strangers. I myself send out parts constantly to people. I just sent a whole box full of stuff to this little girl in California so that she could get back up in the air after her stuff got stolen. My personal stuff that I paid for, and then the guys from Newbie Drone tossed in a radio. So she's like in the air again,
That's awesome.
And I love that about this community. You have any random person post in one of the groups that something bad happened, no matter how personal it is, no matter how big or little it is. It could be something as small as like, oh man, I tripped and broke this. Or it could be something like, like my house burned down and everything's gone. And the entire community like runs to their aid and wants to help them in any way they can, and it's just, I love that. I love that. And if we could move past all the bullshit and we could move past the drama and we could move past like the drama that's between companies and the drama that like, there's so much just stupid, like, let's just fly, you guys. Like, isn't the main goal here to fly, to keep everybody like in the air, the community side of it? Like, that's what everybody wants. I go to events and it's like, you're competing against this person sitting right next to you, but you would still give him a motor or a battery or whatever he needed so that you guys could keep competing. Because the point is that you're having fun flying together. It's not, I don't know. If the things that made me want to quit, all dealt with the internet side of this community and the people that helped me see reasons to stay gave me very valid reasons. I would hate to let down the girls in this community because while I'm not anything special or important, a lot of the females in this community, we communicate and we help each other. And I don't want to say that like, I take care of anybody or anything like that, but there are girls in this community that, I speak to on a very regular basis, and it's not like they look up to me or anything like that, but it really is, we're a support system, and those would be the people that I would hate to, like, that would be the reason why I wouldn't leave. Is because I wouldn't want to let down or hurt the people within the community that genuinely appreciate me as a person and what I'm doing. Like I said, I'm not one of those super amazing FPV gods or super skilled or anything like that, but I do genuinely try to do everything I can to help the people within this community, and especially the females. Like, I just want us all to fly. I want us all to have fun and feel that joy and release that we feel when we're up there. We all get that it's something that if you've never done it, you don't get it.
Right.
And all of the people that fly understand what happens when you put the goggles down and you're no longer in your body. Whether it be that you're one of those people that has actual physical disabilities, or you just, like for me, it gives me an opportunity to get away from everything that's down here on the ground. And I would never give that up. Just like with my hula hoops, like I've been doing that for 4 years now. And even if I don't make videos, even if I don't post it, even if it's still something I do almost every day, so will I stick in it? Yeah, I'll keep flying. Will I keep making videos and posting and being super active? On the internet, maybe not. I'll probably still keep editing videos, but I'll probably step away from the community side of it on Facebook and stuff like that, just because that's not the community when you're out in it.
Right.
That's a terrible representation of what FPV is, what you see on the internet. So,
well, thank you for coming on. I think I have enjoyed your presence on Rotor Riot, and in other places, and I think you add something that, you don't call yourself special, but I think you add something that probably no one else could add, because it comes uniquely from you. And I think it would be a shame to lose that. And I definitely, even though I'm not a woman in FPV, there is a penalty to pay for putting yourself out there. And the penalty, unfortunately, for you is higher than it is for me, because I'm just a white dude. That, pretty normal. So,
nobody's gonna pick on you. You have a beard.
No, I mean, seriously, seriously.
If
and
I
they
had
do,
a big, glorious beard, you know how many less people would pick on me? They'd be like, well, we were going to say something super mean, but you see that glorious beard she's got? It's kind of amazing.
Maybe you should get a fake one and just wear it all the time.
It's going to be like blatantly fake, though. It's going to be like cardboard cutout fake, so it's really apparent.
There you go.
That'll be my disguise.
That'll be your disguise. There you go. I like it.
I'll be Mr. Stellar Fox from this point forward.
Well, thank you for coming on. I really appreciate it. I really appreciate you being transparent. And who knows? Maybe we'll blow up the internet with this one too. You never know. So.
Well, I certainly hope that you deal with slightly less drama. I definitely feel like it was a lot less heavy than the Tyler Brennan series, for sure.
Yeah.
The very first question, like, I was 2 minutes in and I was just like, ooh, this is going to get good. I know it. So.
Yeah, that one, I did not enjoy that video. It was not one that I wanted to put out. But I did. So.
They got a lot of information out there, though, and that's what the people want. They want the facts.
At the end of the day, the thing that I do here, the thing that I strive for is honesty. And I'm not going to shy away from asking the tough questions, and I'm not going to shy away from trying to get to the truth of the matter if the truth of the matter needs to be gotten to. And I think we got there with Tyler. But
real fast.
At the same time, I'm glad that not every story is like that. And it definitely, that one took a toll on me. I took a week off after that just because I was like,
No, when you first invited me on, it was like the week after Kevin's episode, and I was just like, I don't know about all that. Like, do I want to do this?
Yeah. That one was also tough in different ways. But I don't have plans to quit. But you're right. Once you start putting yourself out there, at some point somebody's going to paint a target on you. I just, no one has as of yet has a Michelle Rollins page, whatever it's going to be called.
Just wait. They'll figure out somebody who looks somewhat similar to you. I didn't think I would ever get picked on for smiling like I do, because that's what it is like, because I have such a nice big smile, I guess. Yeah. But I never really thought that would be the thing. Like, pick on me for all of these other things, but like, I get called too skinny and I get picked on for smiling too much. Like, oh no. What terrible things.
Right, exactly.
Damn me for being happy.
How could you? It's terrible. Well, thank you for coming on. I really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
So, ladies and gentlemen, you have just witnessed the episode of Jamie Ann, aka Little Stellar Fox. Thank you for coming on the Michael Rollins Show, and thank you for sticking with us. And we will see you all soon. Bye.
I've had the privilege of speaking with several women about what it's like to be an FPV. Quite frankly, it does not seem to be easy. And it seems like there's a lot of angst and anger and frustration thrown their way. They also have to deal with pretty constant sexual harassment. It does not appear to be for the faint of heart. And those that persist and those that persevere are stronger probably than I am and than a lot of us are. I'd like to thank Jamie for coming on, being open and honest about the things that she's dealt with. And I hope that you'll stick around for the rest of the series because it gets a little uplifting from here. I'd like to thank my patrons. My patrons, as always, are a source of inspiration. They're a source of goodness and a safe place. And recently I've needed that, which is good. In the next episode, Jamie and I talk about what it's like to be more of a creator on Facebook. And we talk a lot about her flight edits. They're not the typical flight edits. She leaves the imperfections in. She leaves the things in that most people would take out. I happen to agree with her approach, but I will let you make the decision for yourself. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.